Welcome back to day 12 and the last flow practice for this VATA balancing program. We're going to start, as always, in our meditation, connecting to our breath, and with the low back and low belly, and with our low back and low belly rooted and grounded. We will start with our intention setting today, so take your hands directly in front of the heart. Feel the energy of this grounding intention and allow the energy from this intention to fuse every cell of your body. And allow that intention to be a light which is guiding you, not only on your mat, but throughout your day. Good, now let's lower down our hands onto our thighs, joining thumb and index finger together and turn your palms facing up. Let's start our practice with a couple of deeper breaths. Begin with just lengthening the breath here. Allowing the belly to rise and fall as we draw the breath deep into the body, contracting the throat. Now from here, see if you can take a deep breath into the belly and feel the breath traveling all the way up to the chest and to the collarbones. Hold the in-breath for a moment now. And then gently release it out, exhaling from the chest and then all the way down to the belly. Hold the navel in. Hold the belly, hold the breath out for a moment, and then take a deep breath in again, starting at the belly. Feel the breath spreading all the way up to the chest, all the way up to the collarbones, and now hold the breath in. Relax your body into the retention. Then exhale from the chest, down to the belly. Pulling the navel slightly in to squeeze that breath out, and then hold the breath out now at the bottom. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. All the way to the collarbones, hold, relax, and exhale out. All the way down to the belly and hold. Good, now inhale and exhale. Transition into a slightly more gentle ujjayi breath, a little bit shorter, but still finding a nice even flow here. Good. Slowly transition from your seat. Good. Now gently tilt your head forward. Fold your blanket nicely as we open the eyes. If it feels better for you to still sit a little bit higher on a pillow, then you can do that for our side bends. Otherwise, come seated on the edge of a blanket. Now from here, float the arms all the way up overhead. Inhale. With your exhalation, lower down the left hand to the ground and come into a side bend. Breathe into the right side of your body. Take another inhale. And with your exhalation, sweep that right arm across and lower the palm down to the ground. So we're folding over the right knee, taking an in-breath, lift and lengthen a little more through the spine. And with your out-breath, make the release a little bit deeper. Either stay on your hands, or if you'd like, you could drop onto the forearms, just whatever feels good for your body. Or you can keep those sit bones still rooted down onto the blanket. Take one more deep breath here into the side bend and the forward fold. And then slowly walk those hands to your center. Roll yourself all the way up to an upright position, and then continue to float the arms up overhead. Inhale. With your exhale, lower down the left hand. And then you're coming into the side bend. You might bend slightly into that left arm, going a little bit deeper. Breathing into the right side of your body. One more deep breath in here. And with the out breath, sweep that arm across, folding over the left knee. Then inhale, find some length through your spine. With your exhalation, you might go a little bit deeper if you'd like. Either staying onto the palms or come to the forearm. Stay here with the Ujjayi breath. Make sure that you're nicely dropping now into the right hip, so we're not lifting that from our blanket. Take a couple of conscious breaths here into the right side of your body. One more breath. Now walk those hands back to center. And just slide those hands back as you roll yourself all the way up. Continue to float the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands right in front of the heart. Okay, now take the fingertips behind you. Roll the shoulders slightly back, pushing gently into the fingers. And lift a little bit up through the chest here. Just keep your chin tucked in. Just focus on rolling those shoulders back and take a few rejuvenative breaths here into the heart. Feel as if you're breathing now from the heart space. One more breath in. Your exhalation, just relax into the chest, tuck those ribs in, and then slowly transition up forward onto your hands and knees. And then arriving here, tucking our toes in, and just gently lifting yourself up into a downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, start with some nice movement, pedal up those feet. Couple of times here. And then with your in-breath, just come all the way through to plank pose. With the out-breath, lower the knees and the upper bodies. One exhalation. Point back through the toes. Inhale, slide, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Holding here for a moment, float the arms alongside the body, back, palms reaching up. Still looking down here towards the ground, so reach forward through the crown of the head, back through the toes. One more inhale. With your exhalation, place those hands underneath the forehead gently. Start to sway your hips from side to side. Allow the legs to be nice and heavy. Breathe down to the belly, so feel the belly pushing a little bit more into the ground on the inhale. The body relaxing on an exhale. Take your hands now underneath the shoulders. Press yourself all the way up and back. Downward dog. From our downward facing dog, begin to walk forward to the top. And then inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. With your exhalation, folding forward. Inhale, sweep the arms to the side and come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands right in front of the heart space. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Come all the way down, slightly bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms back up to the side, reaching up overhead. And then exhale, hands in front of the heart. Now from here, we will take our hands to the waist for a moment. And we're going to find the balance onto the right foot. So I want you to lift the left leg up. Interlace your fingers around the left knee. If this feels too much, you can keep your hands onto the waist and just keep that knee lifted as far as feels okay for you. If you're able to hold your hands around the knee, see if you can create a little squeeze here. So similar to what we've been doing on our backs, pulling our knee in and creating a compression onto the low back. Push actively down into the right foot. One more breath here. Good, and now we're slowly gonna release that leg. Allow it to come down to the ground for a moment, lower down the toes, and bring your hands here to the waist. Now see if we can continue to transition into a balancing posture. Slightly bend the right leg here, and start to extend the left leg back, flexing into the foot. So pressing into the heels. Once you're here, bring your hand in front of the heart and see if you can reach the crown of that forward and back through the left heel. Good, now start to bend the right leg a little bit deeper and slowly, slowly release the left foot down. Find the balance onto the toes here and lower your hands onto the right knee. So we're coming into our high lunge position. You might need a little moment to readjust here, sliding the left leg a little bit further back if the foot came quite far forward. Can we just float the arms up here for one inhale, reaching up through the fingers. And with the exhalation, lower those hands all the way back down. Drop the left knee to the ground. Now once you're here, untuck your toes. With an in breath, you're going to shift your hips forward, lift through the heart. With the out breath, see if you can lift the toes up, roll onto the heel, and fold forward over that right leg. Good, so today we're going to move back and forward. Inhale, shift your hips to the front again, look forward. With your exhale, roll onto that heel and fold over the right leg. Good, a few more times like that. Inhale, floating with our breath. Exhale and fold. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale and fold. Now with your next inhalation, come all the way to the front. See if you can tuck your toes back in, lift the knee up, and then step back into your downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Exhale, knees and then the upper body. Point back through the toes, inhale, see if you can push a little more into the hands, lift slightly higher. Exhale and lower. Tuck the toes in, rise back up. Downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we'll slowly walk to the front of our mat. And then once you're right here, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms to the side and come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Now this time, we will take our hands to the waist firstly,
Find the balance on the left foot and lift the right leg up. So either stay here or take those hands around the knee. Find the balance. And then if you want to go even further, you can try to activate those arms. Create a little squeeze, standing, pulling your knee in towards the chest, actively pushing into the left foot. Find a point that you can look at to find the balance. Focusing your gaze. Good. Now let's softly release that. Allow the toe to come down to the ground and bring your hands back to the waist and start to micro bend the left leg now as you reach forward through the crown of the head and extend that right leg back. Okay, so flexing your foot here, pressing into the heel, bring your hands in front of the heart. So either you can stay a little bit more diagonal, as I'm showing right now, foot closer to the ground. If you want a little challenge to practice your balance, lean more forward. Try to create more of a T shape with your body. And then bend deeper into that left leg and gently step back, rooting those toes into the ground. Take your hands onto the knee here and just adjust your feet a little bit if needed. Maybe you drive that right foot a little further back. Press into the heel once more, and then we will take one inhale here, lifting the arms, high lunge. Exhale and lower. Beautiful job, everyone. Let's drop that right knee gently to the ground. Untuck the toes. And now we will start to flow with the breath. Shift the hips forward. Inhale here. Exhale, lift those toes, roll onto the heel and fold. Good, inhale. Walk those hands over to the front, shift your hips forward. Exhale, lifting the toes up, fold. Good, inhale, just flow back and forth. Exhale and fold. Last time. Inhale, exhale. Good, now come to the front, tuck the toes in, root those hands into the ground and step back, downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale, shovel the toes a little back, either lower the knees now or come to the top of the toes, keeping those elbows pointing straight back as we lower. Reach back, inhale, lift up, come back. Exhale, slowly release. Let's settle in here to our child's pose. Fully releasing, happy pillow, arms either forward or alongside your body. Relax here. Just finding a bit of softness through your whole body. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe exhale up through the mouth. Surrender and let go. Beautiful. Now, from our child's pose, we'll keep that pillow to the side. And then we're going to extend the arms forward. Reaching actively through the arms. We will repeat what we did yesterday. Lazy up dog. Inhale to the front. Exhale, rounding your spine here as you shift forward. Shoulders are now over the wrists. Inhale. Go as far as feels okay for your spine. And with your exhalation, slowly press back. Tuck your toes in and let's come directly up into our downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, take a deep breath in. And with your out breath, look forward. And this time, step to the front, right? And the left foot follows. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, slowly release, forward and down. Inhale, sweep the arms to the side and up. And with your exhale, arriving here, hands in front of heart. Now we're going to practice a little bit more balancing. So take your hands to the waist and let's find the balance onto the right leg. Spread the toes a little bit wider. And we're going to bring the left ankle just above the right knee. Now if this was too much for you, you can cross the legs over and stay with your feet to the ground, bending into the hips, hands in front of the heart. If you're able to balance onto one leg here, again, find that soft spot above the right knee. Keep your back nice and straight and start to sink a little deeper into the right leg. We want to open up the whole outer track of the legs. So it's going to look like this for you guys. You might feel that your hips want to turn open towards the right side now. So try to hug that in and gently sink a little bit deeper. Find a nice spot for you to look at, down towards the ground. And you can choose how far you want to go. So maybe some of you can go even further than this. Okay, let's take another breath here. And now from figure four, we're going to inhale, slowly rise all the way up to standing. Exhale and cross the left foot now over the right, so crossing just like this. With your inhale, float the arms up overhead. And now with our exhalation, fold from the hips, forward and down. Now if it feels too much to lower your hands to the ground, bring your hands to the waist and fold forward from here. You can slightly bend both legs and just allowing the crown to drop forward and down. If you're able to root your hands to the ground, allow the fingertips, maybe palms to connect. And let's take a few deep breaths here. Steady inhales and exhales. From our forward fold, let's lift yourselves halfway up. Now bend into both legs slightly and see if you can connect your hands down so that you're able to step far back with that right foot. Then you're going to allow the left knee to turn open towards the left side. You can slide your heel a little bit in towards you so that we're able to arrive here in our pigeon pose. Now in pigeon pose, take a blanket or take a pillow, slide that underneath the buttock. Maybe adjusting your position a little bit so your hips are nice and squared in center. And again, if pigeon pose just feels too much for the knees, you're going to come to the back and do the recline version. Left ankle crossing below the right knee. Let's take a deep breath in here, slightly lift through the chest. And with your out breath, let's release now, forward and down. Either staying onto the forearms or dropping your head all the way down towards those hands. And let's settle in here with a couple of steady, slow breaths. Just welcoming that nice opening, this big stretch going all the way into the glutes. And many times when we are emotionally out of balance, you might notice that there's a lot of blockages around the hip area. Helping the body here to create some space to release any of that tension. Great. Now from pigeon pose, let's come back up onto our hands. Take the blanket to the side. And then you're going to tuck your toes in, press yourself back into a downward dog from here. Walk it out a little bit on the spot, just finding some softness into the legs. Good enough from here. Let's shift forward. Inhale, plank pose. Again, you can either use your knees if you'd like, or practice without the knees, lowering to the ground. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Exhale, lower the chest. Tuck the toes in, and come slowly up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. From downward dog, take a deep breath in. Exhale, peek forward. This time step with the left, and then the right foot to the front. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sides, and all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands right in front of the heart. Let's take our hands to the waist and practice our balance now onto the other foot. So we're going to balance onto the left foot. Take that right ankle and bring it just above the left knee. Start to sink the butt back, hands in front of the heart. Again, hugging the left hip in here slightly so we keep our hips in center. And then finding a nice spot for us to look at. Notice if you're rounding your spine here, try to find some length. Sticking your tailbone back, pulling the crown up, chest forward. And again, maybe some of you explore to sink a little bit deeper, going a little further into that hip, and practicing balance to help us to connect to our lower energy channels, feeling a little bit more rooted and grounded through those feet, using those little muscles there. Good. Now from here, let's inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the left. Then inhale, circle the arms to the side and all the way up. And with your exhalation, you can slightly bend the knees as you fold forward and down. Modified, we'll keep the hands onto the weights. Otherwise, drop your hands if that feels okay for you and fold forward. Take a few breaths here, feeling that you're reaching up through the tailbone, down through the crown of the head. Bending your legs as much as you need to in this cross-legged forward fold. Great. Now from here, let's lift halfway up. You know, it's a little tricky transition to come to pigeon pose, but really take your time, root your hands down, so bend your legs as much as you need to root them down. Then take the left foot, then take a big step back. Once you're here, let the right knee turn open towards the right side. Pull your heel slightly in so that you can create that diagonal line for pigeon pose. And then move the left leg even further back if needed. And support the buttock with a blanket or a pillow. Now with our fingers rooting down, just take an inhalation and find some length here through the spine. And with your exhalation, begin to release forward and down. So giving ourselves the opportunity in today's practice to really work with those hips, releasing any sluggish or stagnant energy. Notice how the right side feels in comparison to the left. Consciously breathe into that space, wherever you feel the tightness. Feel that you are directing a healthy, energetic flow right now. Creating this transformation in your body with every pose, with every breath. we're going to come back up onto our hands. Taking the prop to the side, tuck the toes in, and see if you can just push yourself all the way back into a downward dog and just paddle out those feet a little bit here, going from side to side. Creating some nice movements to release and soften. Good, and now we're just going to lower the knees all the way down to the ground and sit back to our heels. Take those hips to the side, the legs forward, and let's come all the way down to the ground, having a blanket or a pillow available. We're going to slowly release and lower. And now as we arrive here, you can take the edge of a pillow or a blanket. You can explore with both options and see what works best for you. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, lift the hips up, and then slide that prop, the edge of a pillow or a blanket, at the sacrum and tailbone area. And then we're going to float the legs up, floating them over the hips. And you want to find a point here where you might keep your legs slightly bent, and they're just going to float over the hips. So we're using very little effort to keep the legs in place. If you notice that this is very heavy for you to do, you could also find a wall and just throw your legs up the wall with your buttocks fairly close to the wall. So make sure that this pose is relaxing for you. The arms can just come to the side. And this beautiful pose called Viparita Karani is meant to really rejuvenate the legs and the lower part of the body. Throughout most of the day, we are putting a lot of pressure into the feet and into the legs. And for some of us, the blood circulation might be a little bit more poor into the lower part of the body. So here we are helping to rejuvenate and refresh the legs, allowing the blood to flow down and away from the legs, away from the feet. This is also very good if you have tendency for some swelling in the feet and the legs. Very good for those of you that might have varicose veins, or even cellulite, so just helping to refresh the whole lower part. Try to hold a little bit longer. You might feel some tingling sensation here as the blood is flowing down. This is completely normal. Taking our final breaths. From here, let's bend into those legs, lowering your feet down to the ground. Lift your hips up, slide your pillow to the side, and then gently release all the way down. So have both your pillow and your blanket available. Now you're going to bring your knees together and just start with dropping your knees towards the left side. So notice that I twist a little bit into my hips as I drop the knees. Now see if you can bring your legs into a 90-degree bend or into an L shape. And you might feel already here that this is a little bit too much for your back, especially if you're going to turn your chest open. So then you could take a little prop here underneath the knees. And lastly, to help yourself hold the position, Might feel very good to take a pillow on top of the legs just to invite a little bit of weight, a little bit of heaviness. Might also feel good to have this in between the knees for some support. So feel free to play around with these variations. And then just spread your arms open to the side. And gently rotate your head towards the right hand. And let's hold here in this twist a couple of breaths. Our final ujjayi breaths for this practice. Good, and now from here, take your pillow to the side. Draw your heels a little bit closer in towards the buttocks and just come all the way back to center, rolling onto the soles of the feet. If you enjoy the support of a blanket, move it across, let your knees drop towards the right, twisting a little bit into the hips, and then try to find that L shape of your legs. Maybe a pillow, come onto the knee area, onto the upper part of the left leg or in between. Twist your head and relax. Great, and now from here, let's remove that pillow. Draw the heels a little bit closer in and come back to center. Bring your knees in towards the chest. Wrap your hands around and just give yourself a nice little squeeze, rocking from side to side. We have reached the end of our practice. You can take your blanket and just cover that over your body. And fully surrender here. Feet rolling apart, arms dropping down to the ground. And allow your whole self to just sink a little bit deeper, soften a little bit more, relaxing and letting go. And then begin to softly move your hands and feet. Sway your head a little bit from side to side. And extend through the arms. If that feels good for you, just creating a nice little stretch. And coming over to the side of your mat. And finding a seated position. And then joining your hands together in front of the heart space as you arrive here. Let's feel some gratitude and joy at the heart. Gratitude for this very moment. Gratitude to life. As we can now experience this deeper connection within our own being. Now we will close our practice once more with Om. We will make one Om together, and I will then close our practice with a little mantra. You're welcome to join if you know this mantra. Let's take a deep breath into the belly. Exhale out. Inhale for Om. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Now from here, let's humbly bow down to close our practice. Namaste. This last little beautiful mantra means, may all beings be happy and free. And I wish that for you as well. May you be happy and may you be free. I hope that you enjoyed this last flow practice with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow for our nourishing, more relaxing, and restorative practice.